But why don't we go ahead and say hi to YouTube? Hola, YouTube. Hey, YouTube. How you doing? I hope you guys are doing well. Hey, you guys must already know what we're doing for this one. We're doing another analysis video on Bochi, specifically the lyrics, right? Unlike, other individuals that might try and, literally like delay, episodes going up or whatever, dude. I'm just straight up about it, dude. We're watching this live on Twitch. They voted on it. It was a tie between this song and the other song that's to come. Um, so yeah, I don't know what else to say other than like I really enjoyed doing the first analysis. So I think that we're back to go ahead and like analyze the lyrics, analyze sort of the cinematography of it, analyze everything that may be going on in there, and try and see where's this heading. Where are we going with Bochi? Uh, Also, if you guys like the content and you guys have been liking the Bochi videos that are up, make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe, let me know what's up. In case this goes up before any of the other Bochi videos, before Bochi finishes or whatever, know that here on Twitch we have the whole collection already like, highlighted and stuff. So I know that like currently there's like 8 episodes on YouTube, but we've already finished Bochi quite a while ago. So with that being said, why don't we go ahead and just jump into it, yeah? I don't see a reason to stall. Who's singing this song, by the way? Guys, who's actually singing the song? 'Cause it's Kita. Okay, same thing, Kita, but it's Bochi's lyrics. What's interesting is I like the drum beat. Boom, 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 boom. It's like a very confrontational like beat going forward, which is it pushes the band, right? So the band has to necessarily like stay on beat, right? Um, and start pushing, which I'm kind of curious if this is a song that was used for episode 8, right? And I'm kind of curious if this is sort of what made people either rush or start to drag a little bit because the drum's pushing at that speed. Yeah, it's boom, 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 boom. And if you're playing, dude, having that as your background, dude, that should be your base of support. Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's pretty hard, dude. That's It's the audition song. This was when Bochi did the solo at the beginning. Yeah, yeah, yeah. This was the second song when the first song failed, and Bochi went on the guitar solo, where the drums were rushing. It makes sense. Makes sense. Because I'm listening to this and I'm like, this seems like the song that you play. Yeah, this was sort of what I was leading to when you like the first song was slow, sort of like a downer, or the first song kind of fell flat. This is sort of like the next song or like the next piece in a song that you push up to amp up the music. In psychology and even in music and performance psychology, what you'll often find is like, for example, when you go and this is why I'm bringing it up in the song because I think that this is placed really beautifully. When you go into uh say a club, right? And yes, this is going to relate to this song because I have a feeling it's hitting something, right? That the way that they made the songs come out is interesting. Okay, in a club, when you go there, right? Why is it that there's a slow build up and then all of a sudden music starts to like fade in and everyone's jumping up and down and everything? Do you guys know? It's beats per minute, right? There's a certain beat per minute that like most people, like bands, DJs, whatever, are intellectually aware that once they get you to a certain state, a certain beats per minute, it's almost like a trance like state where you're more willing to go ahead and like accept the music, accept the momentum, accept whatever. So oftentimes, even leading up like songs into that beat per minute, that I believe it's like 160 or 180. I forgot the exact beats per minute because it's not my expertise field. I'm more in attachment and, you know, literally psychological assessment, therapy, diagnosis, all of that stuff. But once you reach that beats per minute in a consistent flow, from there on out, you pretty much have individuals whose heartbeats, bouncing up and down or whatever is matching it. And it's an interesting phenomenon. I think I've gone over this in some other shows that talk about music in situations like this. Oh, now I remember your prediction of Bochi being a Gundam is real in some way. We're analyzing Bochi the Rock, the band. So it's the lyrics to it. So that's sort of where I'm like building up tension, building up that momentum, getting people to a certain like beats per minute, especially if the first song was a little slower, makes sense, logically speaking. Sorry.
'No laughter from a Hold on.
That's really interesting. In a big way, isn't this true about a lot of people, a lot of creators, a lot of everything, right? Especially if you're in music or whatnot. If you've ever performed in a band in either high school or actual like performance, like doing theater or anything like that, if you've ever done any performance or whatnot out where you've been judged against others, how was that center make you feel, right? In a big way, in a situation like this, right? Often being compared to others, or often being told the sound of the train passing is like that, is like being in that crowd. Yeah, but it's also like, for example, you get so lost in your craft that you forget about certain scenarios, right? Where you don't want to step in and necessarily be molded into being just like that band or that like actor or that performance that we're seeing. We want to go ahead and like be lost in our own selves, right? That Rio is being shown at the moment was also being the unique, being what gives people life. It's also about all about the unique, yeah, what gives people life. In a scenario like this, it's also about like comparisons in general, right? So, for example, even with others, right? How do you do people compare you to other people's successes and or failures, and through that, right, through performance, through yourself, through the gist that you go through, how do you stand up to your own expectations, not at the expectations of society? How are you able to go and find your flow in yourself and go through with it? What's really interesting is through that, if you want to shift it and go into like Rio specifically, wasn't she in a previous band, right? And this might be like a G. That's what I'm telling you. The composition of it and who they're showing is right, because like the lyrics are one thing that we can take and we can talk about. We could talk about the deftness of the lyrics themselves, but if we look at the character that's being shown, she was in another band. And what happened to that band? That band started playing pop music. Was that band the music that she wanted to go ahead and play or not? Did that band literally lose its like, its true meaning in the soul and for what it was there for? Was she playing for herself, or was she playing for like the crowd of people that was out there? The railway train that was coming through and sort of forcing people to conform into whatever may come through. That's where I'm like, this is, for me, it's awesome because like the lyrics are telling us one story, right? And yet the cinematography is telling us a different story. The themes of losing one's identity. Yes, cough me. Yeah, absolutely. Cough me. uh, it's the themes of losing one's identity. It's the themes of, how do you find your identity in of yourself, right? So a big aspect in this, and I think I'll go over this at the end, is Erickson's, I believe it's psychosocial personality theory, where it goes over like the differences in identity versus social expectations and disparagement in age, and finding you know, so on and so forth. I'll bring it up at the end and we'll have a little bit of conversation on this because I think as musicians and I think as individuals, you know, in different aspects in life, we go through different cycles of development, like identity development, right? So for you guys out there, is the you that you are now the you that you expected you to be when you were a kid? Is the roles that you play the identities that you want to have with you for the rest of your life or not? Sorry. Anyway, that's what I'm telling you. This is really fucking deep in a very short amount of time. Yeah, I mean that's sort of what I'm thinking. But you probably got inspiration from. Looking for a place to belong in a distance. Saved by a sad. I remember being so desperate to chase content creation to find an identity in reality. All I was doing was finding a reason to run away from my anxiety. Younger me would think that I'm cooler, but I would still tell him that I'm a human being. Younger me was a better person. I saw myself as a doctor back then, and now I can't stand seeing blood. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing is we all shift through times. Let me back it up here. And I think this is the main reason why Bochi hit so many people. If we're gonna be realistic, right? I'm not gonna talk to you guys in metaphors and spend fucking 4 hours going in a metaphorical rant about, you know, how you can anthropomorphize your identity into like different creatures or anything like that, because that's in the grand scale of things, especially for someone their age, you know, it's a lot more, at least with play therapy and everything else, a lot better to be direct about certain situations and go through metaphors. Why does Bochi hit a lot of us, right? What is if I were to summarize Bochi in a scenario, this is the lyrics. Looking for a place to belong in the dissonance. Looking for somewhere to belong, some friends to belong to in terms of dealing with anxiety that is life. Dealing with the nastiness, the wild turns, the amazingness that things may come from life, you know? And I think Bochi in a big way hits this, like these lyrics are pretty personal, but at the same time it's like, what are we all looking for? Yeah, in the grand scale of things. That's awesome. These lyrics are pretty awesome. And with that, say that you join a new group of friends, right? How many times, especially when you're brand new to the group of friends, do you think that you're the one that's fucking up? And yeah, I am gonna go ahead and say that, right? Because sometimes if you have social anxiety or you have like anxiety like rise up and you just joined a new group of friends, you feel as though your mistakes are causing the whole group's dynamics to go down. You feel as though any minute, like, are they really your friends or are they only there to like humor you? Um, what have your self talk's been through a situation like this? Bochi's really good fucking writer. If we're to use like the anime, like you know, logic of this, like this is some deep shit, guys. He's in high school writing lyrics like this.
The tracks you left behind.
That's sort of what I'm talking about. What's up, Ruda? How you doing? That's as high as I can't stop thinking it plays on 1.5 BPM. Yeah, back when I first. So let me quickly talk about this right before I forget my train of thought. Well, but it's true. If you get so invested, like if you stop paying attention, this goes out to any individual out there, other people's work, other people's content. You know, as individuals, social media will often try and like pair you up against others, against the way that like others do, criticize you, 101 things, right? But at the end of the day, the only thing that you can do, or that you should do, is focus on your own creation, your own tactics moving forward. And even if like you're trucking through, you know, the grand pendulum of things swings one way and it'll swing the other. And while you might feel lonely at like, you might start off lonely, feeling as though you're not accomplishing anything, being judged, but on the way back, you might be the only passenger left, the only individual left that's still tracking through time, as people start recognizing you and your talents for it. And that's what for me, like this whole general concept of what's happening in the song is it's a big introspective moment in terms of Bochi herself, right? And I guess the band in general, which is like, are we performing for everybody else, or are we performing for ourselves, right? Granted, people may come and watch our shows, people may like us, people may be here for us down the line, but who is there for you right now? And this goes out to everyone. Right now, if you could think about it in general, and if you've been analyzing this as well, for you, who is there for you right now? Do you rely on others to be there for you to try and succeed? Or do you feel like you're constantly being compared to others in a way that's not fair? And that's why I'm like, you know, we often get so caught up in our train of thoughts or schemas or stigmas around certain, like, things, that we forget, like, hey, we're all just wild individuals, random individuals in the grand openness that is space and life and time and whatnot, thrashing around, trying to make a sound and trying to connect with others. And sometimes we may be that only passenger. Sometimes we may be that only passenger on that train. That train called life, and no one's there at the beginning, but on the way back, people may be there for us. Is it a journey of self acceptance for you, or is it a journey of self reliance? This is huge, and this is a big. That's what I'm saying. This is a big introspective moment of finding out that self acceptance, right? Finding out like why they have to go ahead and like make that sound for themselves, and thrash around and not try and be other bands or be others. This is that's what I'm saying. This is beautiful, man. This is such a beautiful way of doing it. Friend, yeah, back when I first saw the show, I used it as a reason to escape deeper into isolation, wishing that I had my own Dorito to save me someday. But in reality, back in the day, I was the Dorito, and I tripped and fell on my face at some point. I tried to be more and more positive every day to someday return to being the positive Dorito I was back as a kid. I had no idea where to belong because I wasn't looking hard enough, but I was so bitter of the world that I pushed out the possibility of getting to a place like this. Friend, let me tell you this. When you fell on your face, you started to stand up slowly but surely. Your face might have been bloody, bro. This goes out to everyone because in real life, this will happen, man. We're streaming down the line, we're thinking life is going great. Really bad heartbreak, a friend, situation, whatever may happen, and it brings us down really, really low. And we might trip and we might break our nose. We might break a couple of bones. We might be bleeding. What do you do? Seeing the fact that you as an individual and the majority of people, have started to stand up. You might have not stood up right away. You might have just like stayed there and felt the pain that happened, but you slowly but surely started to connect with others in some way, shape, or form. And even if it was rolling on your back for a little bit and then slowly trying to like sit up, we all will slowly start walking again. Those wounds slowly start to heal. They might not heal correctly, and this is why I say go to therapy for everyone, right? But the fact that like you're here and you're open to talking about it for me means that like you've started your agency of change, and this show, I believe, has that capacity to be an agent of change for people, to try and find people to connect with, to try and find individuals that they can, you know, genuinely form a relationship with. I don't mean a romantic relationship, but a genuine friendship with. That's why I'm like, I'm listening to these lyrics and I can see the impact that it's having an impact on me. I can't even imagine the impact it's had on others. That's why I'm like, ooh. Touch me, Domo. Yeah, hey, bro, keep it up. You can do it, bro. You can do it. I believe in you. You can do it, man. I believe in you. Guys, holy bananas, ladies and gentlemen. What a song. You know what? I'm going to give you guys homework. If you guys have stayed all the way through and you guys are watching this on YouTube and even here on Twitch, hey, guess what? You guys have a shit ton of homework to do. My homework for you guys and for those individuals that genuinely connect with Bochi and whatnot, and in general, just anime, I want you guys to keep an emotion-based journal. Yeah. I.e., if you're like, I don't know why I suddenly feel sad or feel happy, or I'm trying to get work up the ability to start feeling happy or start connecting with people, or you know, start growing as an individual. Hey, what I would strongly suggest to anyone out there is keep an emotion-based journal. And I don't mean like you just write down everything. I mean like, for example, if you genuinely felt like content or happy or an emotion, sadness, something that really defined or stood out to you, quickly write it down. I felt sad because this happened at this time. I felt happy because this happened at this time. And just keeping it, like, I felt, you know, lonely or empty or whatever emotion it may be, you know. You write your emotion, you write what happened, and you write the time that you felt that. What you might start to notice, and this is just free form advice out there, you might start to notice some cycles in you. Or guess what? If you identify some of these cycles, it might help you out. I.e., this makes me feel happy whenever I'm out and about. Hey, I feel sad around this time of day, so I might need to go ahead and distance myself a little bit socially just for a couple minutes until I start feeling better. Because it's now a trend that I've seen in my emotion-based journal. I start feeling really happy whenever I'm with these people, but not so happy when I'm with these other people. All of a sudden, you guys have the key inside of you to start identifying a lot of your own personal emotions and start being able to go ahead and be an inspiration for others and helping others out. So that's why I'm saying it doesn't have to be a full on diary. No, I'd like, you know, because there's a lot of individuals that are like, I can't keep a full on diary, you know, but an emotion based journal. Just I felt this at this time, this place, right? And after a while, all of a sudden, if you start thinking, going through it, you might start seeing some patterns pop up. And that's the beautiful aspect of a situation like this. I think if I for example, if I was Bochi's therapist, right, or any of the girls' therapists in this scenario, that is one concept that I would actually bring up to them. For Bochi in particular, like what particularly triggers you in some situations, and we might find out a whole different world about Bochi. But anyways, I appreciate you all on YouTube. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know that wasn't too insanely long. I hope not. Hold on. My internet was flatlining for a second. But genuinely, I appreciate each and every single one of you guys for being the wonderful and beautiful you that you are. Practice some self-care. Please do. Hit that like button, subscribe, let me know what you guys think. Did you guys get a different experience out of this song or what came out of it? I appreciate you all. Practice some self-care. I'll see you guys later.